Grand Rising. You know, the Most High is so good, and the Holy Spirit is so good. When they said in the Bible that she is going to bring all things back into remembrance. You know, when we first got into this walk, and many people thought it was just talking about us knowing about us being Israelites. And as you can see, this is way bigger than any of that. This is way bigger than just knowing who you are, but it's also the exposing of what the other nations have been doing. That's what this whole part of, like, not only knowing who we are, but knowing who they are, and knowing what they have done to, in order for them to be able to live lavishly, in order for them to enjoy the voluptuousness of this era right here. So, you know, I had did a video yesterday talking about this silver tsunami, and we talked about the $17 trillion that they are about to send to their heirs, that the boomers born in the 1940s up into the 1960s, and how they're going to transfer $17 trillion to their heirs, right? And but that was pretty much just talking about the equity and the homes that they stole, you know, the opportunity that they stole because they were and set up all these laws for the FHA program and loans, and the white flight out into the suburbs, and only white people were able to buy in these areas, and the other white people that were the other immigrants, as well as our own people who have sold out to the system, they got to be considered white, and they got to the opportunity to be able to advance in the society. You know, the whole thing about being white and being black is a social construct. It's not necessarily just about your skin color, okay? Because none of us are black in the first place, right? So a black meaning that we were at the bottom, that we were not considered human, that we were not allowed to have that social mobility upwards. And other people, many people sold out to this system, right? And they were able to be considered white, and then be able to actually socially move up. Now, Sister Eva sent me a video that showed me that the number of this actual silver tsunami is way bigger than $17 trillion. I'm going to play a little bit of the video, so hopefully you guys can hear it, because we got a party going on behind me, but so that you can actually hear what the actual number is actually, you know, they're estimating to be. And we know their estimates are lower than this, but remember, again, this is only one generation. This is one generation of wealth transfer. We're not even talking about what's happened since 1492 all the way to this point, and all the land that they've stolen and everything else. But I want to play the video. It's like a newscast from a couple of months ago. Hold on. And it's actually from 4 months ago. So you can see they've been talking about this silver tsunami for a very long time. But the Most High has, you know, he makes them put it out there. But when it's time for us to actually start having these discussions, now all of a sudden it's all coming out. Now check out the numbers that they're talking about for reals.
Most of us know people who are baby boomers. That generation makes up a quarter of the population, which is at or near retirement. That's the largest number of retirees in our country's history. KOLO 8 News Now's Terry Russell spoke with an economist at UNR about what it means to our economy and newer generations.
A silver tsunami, right? Merrill Lynch cites a study that estimates that over the next 20 years, $86 trillion will flow from the assets of the baby boom generation into the accounts under the management of their children and grandchildren.
Parker says this
$86 trillion, more than double the national debt. As it pays a little bit more, so I'm going to play a little bit more.
Happened because the baby boom generation saw a high birth rate and the lowering of the infant mortality rate. During their retirement, they may choose to hand over funds or do so at their death. Children and grandchildren could be profoundly impacted, as baby boomers had fewer children on average than their parents did. But there are some wrinkles.
Now, the thing is, they're always talking about, because they always talk about well, it doesn't mean everybody. Not everybody's going to have all this money. Not everybody. Like, it doesn't matter if everybody has it or not. See, that's how they always deal with these types of issues. They always try to make it seem like it's everybody. It's not everybody that's doing it. It's not everybody that gets it. Or again, that's why everything they deal with absolutes. That's how you know it's an Edomite whole setup. Just like with the camps and the 12 tribes, all Negroes are this, all Mexicans are this, all Guatemalans are that. That's how they deal with everything. And if one person doesn't get whatever, like as far as this money, because we're talking about how like a lot of people were actually poor. Yeah, because some people didn't take advantage of their blessing. Some people didn't make right choices and did not really enjoy the blessing. It wasn't set up so that everyone's going to get equal and everyone's going to be able to understand or enjoy the blessings, just like the curses. Not everybody's gone through the curses to the same extent. Some have gone through them, not the same as others. Some got it worse, some got it medium, some got it not as bad. That's all up to the Most High. But see, $86 trillion of money transferring now from one generation to the next. And you really think that you can sit here and talk now, all you immigrants who've come over here, and now saying, oh, well, you guys, you just didn't work hard. You didn't do this. Like you shouldn't even have been able to come over here and establish, yourselves in this country and make all this money and socially climb up the ladder when, for what reason? What did your great-grandparents, what did your people that were before you, what did your ancestors go through here in America that for some reason America needed to give them opportunities here? If your ancestors didn't go through what we went through, then why is it you got more benefits than we did? See, this is where we are right now. This shows you right now that it's a wrap for you, because the Most High is exposing everything. He's bringing out more and more and more truth that you cannot contend with. You cannot contend with the fact that you came over here and got benefits and you built up this wealth, and now you're passing it down to your children. And you were never legally you were legally allowed to come through here because you joined the Psalms 83 vassal system, but your ancestors did not have anything bad happen to them because they weren't even here. They did not go through chattel slavery. They did not have their land stolen. They did not have their designation taken from them. They didn't have their identity taken away from them. They did not go through. They did not build this country up. They did not work as chattel slavery for hundreds of years. They did not have people, their family members sold here. They didn't have their women violated. They didn't have their little boys and men violated. They didn't have any of that. But for some reason, you seem to think that they get to come over here during this baby boom season and rise up in society, get all of these benefits, and then build up all this wealth and then pass it on to their generation. For what reason? See, and most of you guys are all talking about how you're religious, you're Muslims, you're Christians, you're Catholics. Whatever happened to thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder. Those are all the things that you guys have done. And you got blood money coming to you. All the while you're telling us that you worked hard for this, and that why should someone who didn't go through slavery get reparations? Well, why does someone who did not go through any of the ill treatment here, why should they be able to get wealth, gain wealth, and pass it down to their future generations? What did they do to be able to get to this point where they can do that? Because trust me, this $86 trillion windfall is not just so-called white people. It's also black people, Asian people, Latin people, every single people on the world that came over here, East Indians, Arabs, everybody who came over here and was down with the system, you got a chance to socially move up and get this part of this $86 trillion windfall. And you think the Most High is about to let you transfer that down to your children and you enjoy it? That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. It's not going to be he said over the next 20 years. You don't got 20 years. As you can see, this sun is already baking people. Check out the video that I put in the section of my video on YouTube, on the community section, talking about how the radiation level is going to be on the June 5th on 11, which is very high. It's very dangerous. It's getting to the point where people are not going to be able to even go outside and enjoy any of their blessings, their ill-gotten gains. You don't got 20 years to enjoy this. I said, this is an absolute wrap for you. All we're doing is just announcing that it's a wrap for you. We're only here to sit here and let you know that the Most High has been watching you, and all the stuff that you've done, all these ill-gotten gains, you're going to have to pay for. And it is not just the colonizers, it's all the people who've been part of Psalms 83. All of you are going to pay. Shalom.